Welcome back everyone. Today is a Lazy Suzan assembly. There are no tools or screws needed for this or complicated instructions. I'll just be gluing this all together. So I'll be needing 3 pieces for this project. The first is the metal bearing plate, which actually makes a Lazy Suzan turn. The backing board, which is a board that sits on the table. It's normally smaller than the top plate, which is the actual serving board, and you can see that's the bigger plate. First step is to determine where the boards will be positioned when glued. So firstly I'll mark the position of the bearing plate onto the backing board. Secondly, I'll mark the position of the backing board onto the top board. The idea of this is to just get the boards placed evenly in the middle, because gluing it on as opposed to screwing it in means you can't move it later. So it's an important step really, you don't want it to be uneven. So the first 2 pieces that will be glued will be the bearing plate onto the backing board. So we really need to know which side of the bearing plate that we attach to the board. And you can see it's actually the flatter, wider side of the bearing plate that gets stuck to the bottom board. I'll be using Gorilla Glue. It's like a super glue, but super glue, the cheap super glue, is really runny and it sort of scares me actually. I always get my fingers stuck together. This is more of a gel and it's really user friendly. It doesn't run and you don't need much. So I'll be placing just some drops on the backing board, then putting the bearing plate on and just lining it up with the marks I made earlier. I left this for about 15 minutes, but just to be on the safe side, it says it only takes 45 seconds to stick, but I just wanted to be sure. So now I'll do the same to the top board, but I'll be placing the glue onto the bearing plate just so I know exactly where to put the glue and that it's in the right place. This is important because you want to put the glue on sparingly, yet you want to have enough for it to stick. You don't want the glue to actually run down to the part that spins onto the other parts, otherwise it will jam and not spin. In other words, you don't want to glue the 2 parts together, otherwise it won't work. And after that I just place it on the top board and I'll line it up with the marks I made earlier, and I left this to stick a little bit longer just because it was a bit more of an odd shape. Yeah, and it's all done. And now the fun bit starting, the actual decorating. So we'll get started on that. Yesterday afternoon, the last filming that I did was painting the top of the Lazy Suzan. I brought it outside to work on it. Pleased with the way it turns, and now it's time to decorate it. So I had some ideas on what I was going to do. In the end, I decided to put little flower transfers all over it. I have some left over from a few other projects, and you might remember the last one was the faux plants hot makeovers, and I did some vases with these flowers and some little phrases, and I love them so much I thought, why not make this Lazy Suzan look like a big pretty plate. So I just thought I would use the rest of my little transfers. I just have an assortment, they're all different. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason to this, but I thought I'd just use the rest of everything up. Not sure about the phrases yet. I might just put the flowers on and see what it looks like, and then I could maybe just put the phrases sort of in the spaces. Yeah, they're so pretty, and this is the fun part. I absolutely love doing this. I started last night. I wasn't going to start until I showed you and started filming, but I couldn't help myself. I started last night and I started transferring on, and it's a bit time consuming, but it's so fun. You can sort of just zone out and do it. So that's the process behind this, to make it sort of look like one big pretty plate sitting in the middle, and then you can have all your other cake stands and food on top of that. I did forget to mention just then that after I've done all this, I will be putting a matte spray varnish on the top. This was from Kmart, I think it was $8, and it'd be simple to do, just spray over it, and it's Meant to be waterproof and preserve some waterproof drawings, canvas, photographs and more. So it's fast drying and non-yellowing, so yeah, I'll just give that a couple of sprays with this and that should be good.